Let's go. What up, guys? It is time to talk crypto again. Crypto markets are on the edge right now. You can feel the anticipation, the electricity in the air as Papa Powell heads off to Jackson Hole, Wyoming for some ungodly reason. Why are they meeting in Wyoming, guys? It's ridiculous. Imagine being a central banker. What are you doing? We're going flying to America. Where are you going? Wyoming. But why? But why? Anyway, shout out to everybody in Wyoming. I'm sure it's very nice living out in the countryside. My dad lives in the countryside, upstate New York. I'm a city guy myself. Anyway, besides the point, we got to talk about the Jackson Hole meeting. We got to talk about the price of Bitcoin. We got to talk about the altcoins, man. Big AVAX news and other stuff going on today. Gonna get into all of that, of course, answering your questions second half of the stream. So let's just get it. Let's get it, guys. So first and foremost, the S&P 500 de-risking slightly today, one may say, just shy of that previous all-time high. Gosh darn close, wasn't it? Probably on anticipation of what's going to be said tomorrow at the Fed meeting at Jackson Hole. Is Jerome going to be dovish? If so, markets pump. Is he going to be hawkish? If so, markets could dump a little bit farther back down, which is not too crazy after a wild 10% plus rally for the S&P 500. All in perspective, right? Job fears once again creeping into the market. The share of people fearing unemployment in the next 4 months has soared to 4.4%, up from 2.8% in March. Job seekers also hit a high with 28.4% searching for work in the past 4 weeks, significant rise from 19.4% in July. Adding to concerns, of course, recent jobs data was downgraded by over 800,000 jobs. So, fear remains in the market. This will be potentially some of the stuff that Jerome's talking about tomorrow, because remember, they got to get inflation down, but they also have to keep, an unemployment crisis from happening. It's a fine thread to do, right? Anyway, fine needle to thread. That's the one. This guy here, Nick, saying, a look at where the Fed stands ahead of Powell's annual keynote at Jackson Hole. The Fed faces two paths for the coming months. Under one, officials will cut rates by a quarter point at each of the next few meetings, then speed up or slow down reductions depending on how the economy fares early next year. If the economy enters a sharper downturn, they could cut rates in larger half percentage point increments to get interest rates closer to 3% by next spring. The challenge for the Fed is that officials generally have a high threshold for cutting rates in large increments. They're likely to seek permission to do so either from much weaker than expected data, as occurred in 2001, or signs of a significant credit market stress, as in 2007, when the Fed made a series of shallow cuts in 95, 98, and 2019. They went down the mountain with more measured steps of a quarter point. 1998 is an interesting year, isn't it? Are we in 1998? Is this the big blow off? We're going to go. Next year is 1999. 2026 is the Armageddon year. But between now and then, could be some exciting things happening in the market. How long it all takes to play out, different question. But anyway, just a thought. QE Infinity says, anyone else find the 800,000 jobs revision right before Jackson Hole to be shady? They front run the market with this job stunner to give Powell the cover to cut rates without it looking like it's being political for the Fed. It's interesting. ZeroX JPEG here sharing some thoughts. He says, clear the Fed's okay with rising data to paint a picture of a soft landing. Walmart earnings still reporting that retail is strong, which is interesting, isn't it? So many things. Oh, the American consumers getting screwed and they're being nice. Not all the numbers support that. There's a lot of half the data looks fine, half the data looks not fine in the American economy. GDP keeps growing, but for how long? There's a lot of concerning things which could iron themselves out into 2025 and everything's fine, or they don't iron themselves out into 2025. There is no soft landing. Everything just goes to chaos. That's why the market's so fragile right now, because of this sort of duality of people looking at the market. Anyway, global liquidity still increasing steadily while DXY is selling off. Those are both good things for risk assets, by the way. In terms of the crypto markets, Bitcoin down 1.2%, which is less than the NASDAQ. Constant Coinbase premium, Binance spot, bigger than Binance perps price. This just because crypto sold off harder than TradFi, rebounded less. Crypto global open interest still down 15-20% from pre-nuke levels. He says, I think the Jackson Hole event tomorrow ends up being a relative non-event. I don't think we have 50 basis points. would actually say this would be a surprise with market, implying something is wrong. That's it. And this is one of the things too you got to keep in mind. If the Fed comes out with a 50 basis points cut in September, it's probably not actually going to be well received by the market, because it'll imply the Fed has lost control and that they're panicking. A 25 basis point cut is going to say, we're in control. We know what's going on. Is it too little too late? Do they need to panic a little bit? Maybe. Hard to say, right? The Federal Reserve tends to be one of these glacial-like institutions, right? They're very slow moving. The impact of what they do, though, can sink the Titanic pretty quickly, right? And God damn it, Kate, give Leo some space on that door, man. Come on. They need to refilm the end of that movie. That's ridiculous. Anyway, besides the point. Hey, guys, real quick. If you're a crypto trader, check out Bybit, link down below in the description. They've revised their dogs giveaway, giving out even more dogs coins. So, again, pretty simple. Check out the link down below. Sign up, deposit $100 or more, and you'll be eligible for some dogs rewards as well. You can also get a free $500 trade. That's an extra bonus on top of this. So definitely worth checking out if you're into meme coins or you're into trading. Link down below in the description. So price of Bitcoin. Wow. What a place to be. What a place to be. We are just ranging sideways again. What's going on, man? Come on. Market's testing you. Market gods keep giving us their toughest battles. Anyway, it's interesting. Right now, we're squeezing between the 50-day yellow line on the chart here and the 200-day EMA. We need some price momentum to start picking up here. Obviously, we are right now consolidating under this major zone of price resistance. 50-day EMA, 100-day EMA, bull market support bands, and of course the 62K area, all sticky areas of price resistance, previously areas of price support. This is key. Spencer, what's up? Nice to see you, man. This is what's key for the market to move forward, okay? We need to break past this. That's step one. That's just step one, okay? That's step one to get us out of the doldrums, out of the what is going on in the market kind of phase, maybe get these trend lines to start grooving back up. Step two, of course, is breaking out beyond 72K, which feels like a ways away at this point. On-Chain College says if we have a look at prior Bitcoin halvings, compare this cycle to the last cycle, we're currently at an end of the September 2020 period. At the end of September 2020, the Bitcoin price went from $10,500 to over $56,000 just 5 months later. History doesn't repeat, but let's see if it rhymes. Somebody was asking about airdrops. Mr. Heroes saying too many airdrops out there, but check out Pandaroll on Telegram. By the way, we know we're sharing free airdrops every single week in the newsletter, right? Link down below in the description. Just got to point that out there real quick. But anyway, very, very interesting to think. If we get a relative rhyme to the cycle, then Q4 this year could be very, very exciting, assuming that the economy doesn't absolutely fall to pieces between now and then, right? And again, Jerome Powell's got an ever-decreasing runway to land that plane successfully. But he could do it. He could do it. He's kind of on track to doing it, but he doesn't have much more wiggle room. And even if he does do it, it doesn't mean the wheels don't fall off as he's going down the runway. So, there's still a lot of worry, right? But if we can get 6 months of the final phase of the market cycle between, let's say, October and March, the big blowout, right? That's enough. That's enough. We're going to be okay with just that, to be honest. And yeah, you got to take your profits or the market will take them for you, obviously. Here's an interesting one from Sistine Research. Fascinating. You guys can make of it what you will, okay? He says, you thought ETF flows were pumping Bitcoin. Wrong. It was Trump the whole time. Crazy, mind blown. Okay, Bitcoin trades based on Trump, period. He's been the single biggest factor in Bitcoin price action for the last year. It's crazy. It's crazy. Almost every single Bitcoin price mover last year has been based on Trump-related news. All right. Okay, why not? Markets are that excited about, like, okay, we get Trump in, the markets are gonna be good. Spent a lot of hopes on one dude's shoulder. Anyway, not to get political here, guys, obviously, but pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to think about. Anyway, I think there's a lot of conjecture there in that, but I want to share with you because that was entertaining. Back to some more serious stuff. Let's take myself off screen so you can see the full thing here. So this is from CryptoCon. There are still 2 more phases left to go in the near perfect Bitcoin RSI Bollinger Band percent phases. All cycle tops have come on the 5th move over the 0.99% value line, and only 3 have been completed so far. Next is phase 4, where the true break of all-time highs comes. The cycle top is not here yet. This long sideways period correction we've seen is a product of the most powerful mid-cycle move ever. Holy cow. Yep, that's interesting. That's going to be interesting, guys. The big all-time high breaks coming up, followed by the cycle top, which probably is not going to come that much long afterwards. Now, it might be a few months, might be a year. Nobody knows, of course. But definitely you need to start watching for those kind of signals. Very interesting one. This one, I'll be keeping an eye on the RSI Bollinger Band percent phases here, as I think it's definitely an interesting indicator to keep an eye on. Got about 10 different indicators we're going to be watching for saying, okay, cycle top is in. And as long as we don't get a complete meltdown again in the economy in the USA and a giant mega global recession, then we should be on track for this stuff to happen. Fajal says, I don't know, guys, but Bitcoin is literally just repeating what it did last summer. Summer doldrums once again, huh? Hedge X here saying the crypto bull market has always just been about PBOC liquidity cycles. Pretty interesting too. Tyler with a bit of a contrarian take here. Interesting chart, but it suggests we might have blown the top on the echo bubble like in 2019. Keyword might. None of this matters long term. Obviously, he says to expect we hit gold market cap before the next halving. That's $500,000 Bitcoin before the next halving. All right. Okay, guys. That's a big number. It's a big number. It's way beyond the numbers I think we're going to get. But hey, you know what? I'm here for it. Very, very interesting. Be curious to see if this is just a 2019 repeat, but maybe it's all just accelerated. Maybe this was a 2019 repeat and we've gone through the worst of it. Now we've had our risk off event, which was the yen trade and all that kind of stuff. And now we get ready for the next leg up. But Tyler does say, reset it all to 40K, reaccumulate for a couple months might be all it needs, or it invalidates the whole thing and blows through all-time high in September. We prefer the latter, obviously. We shall see what happens. Hong Kong Bitcoin ETFs finally having a nice day inflows after a while. $15 million inflows. And I know it's not all that much, right? But it all adds up. The Australians, they're buying like a few Bitcoin every day too. You know, it's just, again, it all adds up. All right, the big Avalanche news. Very exciting for all the Avalanche bag holders out there. Like me, I got an Avalanche bag. If you want to see what's in my portfolio, the coins that I hold currently, my private sale investments, all that kind of stuff, you can find a link down below in the description, pinned comment over on X. You're also going to find a risk statement there because guess what? Investing in crypto is risky. You could lose all of your money. Like that. Crypto market's crazy, man. Anyway, big news for Avalanche. My Avalanche bags pumped today. We'll look at charts in a second. Franklin Templeton brings blockchain fund to Avalanche. Franklin Templeton, our leading global asset managers, expanded its Franklin on-chain U.S. government money market fund to Avalanche. Great. So this is the newest chain that they're on. Avalanche, Arbitrum, Stellar, and Polygon all supporting it now. So fantastic. Great. We're also seeing AVAX proxies pumping today. Benji, for example, stuff like that. So cool. I dig it. What's interesting, big news, obviously, for Avalanche. Avalanche had so many big things like this. They've had, their sort of big institutional push with all these giant companies. Or was that earlier this year, I think? They've had big gaming stuff going on and big gaming stuff coming with off the grid. A lot of exciting stuff. We're going to be, Jesse's going to be doing some play testing of that in the not so distant future. I'm looking forward to hearing about that. And as soon as we can share some of that footage with you, we will. Be pretty exciting to dig into that a little bit more. Let's have a look here at the Avalanche charts. So Avalanche been on a great rally, of course, for the last few days here. Nice little swing up here from about 20 bucks. Want to add more, but currently hands are tied from doing that for long story, but for tax reasons, probably can't do much with my portfolio. Kind of forced hodling until I set up tax residency in Dubai, but that's fine. That's fine. Bags are packed, guys. Don't worry. The portfolio is ready to rock and roll, man. Anyway, love to do some trading though, but mostly have to wait a little bit on that. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's the lesser of two evils here. Definitely gonna save a lot in tax when we do that. Anyway, besides the point. So right now, AVAX has broken the 50-day EMA. Currently trying to gun up here to the 100-day EMA, potentially to the 200 now. Last time we got a sort of impulse like that, we got denied at the bull market support band and the 200-day EMA. So you got to understand, very nice price move today. I'm bullish long-term on AVAX. I've got a nice sized bag, and I'd probably add more to my bag if that makes sense to do when I can do that in the future. That being said, watch out for the key levels of resistance coming up, right? Don't go FOMOing in here, right? Because the next major area of price resistance is right here around 30 bucks. So maybe you can run it still to 30 bucks from here, for example, if you're going to FOMO in now and do a short-term trade. But look what we got here, of course, and obviously a lot of it's going to depend on the total sort of macro moves of the crypto market, right? And what Jerome Powell says tomorrow is going to impact your AVAX bags, right? But 30 bucks becomes a very, very interesting area. It's the bottom of the bull market support band. It is, of course, also where the 200-day EMA is coming in, and as well as being an area of historical price resistance. Now, that being said, if it can crack over 30 bucks, put a couple nice daily candles in there, build some strength, then you could be off to the races for AVAX. Until then, we got this nice news-driven move. Yeah, also Grayscale today. Saying they've got an investment trust coming up for AVAX too. Nice move driven by some positive news. We love to see it. Just keep in mind that as we grind closer, we're getting closer to an area of key price resistance, right? So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, guys, okay? Here's some interesting news. Apparently, the USDD stablecoin is currently not totally unbacked, but it's backed by the Tron coin now. Tron founder Justin Sun reassured users nothing to worry about after the Tron DAO reserve removed nearly $750 million worth of Bitcoin backing the USDD stablecoin on Wednesday. The algorithmic stablecoin launched 2022 as competitor Terra's now defunct UST token is now backed primarily by Tron's native token TRX. We've done this one before, guys. We've done this one before. It's not a good idea to back your algorithmic stablecoin with a highly volatile asset like TRX. What's going on here? Anyway, we'll see how it plays out. We're early enough in the cycle that probably not a giant concern at this point. I don't know, but look, we've got a video coming out in a few days, by the way, on how to buy meme coins on Tron, because I know you guys are going to know, but that video is going to be filled with all kinds of warnings and heads up that, A, meme coins are risky. B, Tron is kind of, even though it's a very popular network, is kind of, Justin's chain, if you will. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. I liked this bull post from Mr. Crypto about Polkadot. Okay, I want to share it with you guys. So here's a few key reasons why he's excited about Polkadot. Core time sales coming, moving from parachain auctions to core time sales. Plaza update, aiming for a more unified, user-friendly experience with Asset Hub and EVM integration. Jam, enhancing flexibility, scalability, introducing transactionless mechanisms. Inflation reduction, proposals to lower inflation from 10%, potentially 5%, stabilizing dot value. 5, faster unstaking, reducing unstaking from 28 days to as little as 2 days, improving liquidity. Trustless bridges, Snowbridge, Hyperbridge for seamless blockchain interoperability. Web3 gaming, capitalizing on the growing Web3 gaming sector. Remember, they got the big partnership with Mythical Games, is it? So, yeah. It's interesting. DOT is a hated asset right now. You see the price, performance, how it's been recently, but big things are happening. Now, as I've said before, my concern is that, Gavin, you got to stop sleeping, dude. Just stop sleeping. Code for 18 hours a day. All right, let's get it done. Let's get it done. No conferences, okay? Just black coffee, cigarettes. Don't smoke, kids. Cigarettes and coding. That's it, man. That's it. Let's get it done. Let's get all this stuff out by Q4. Let's not delay, because that's where you start getting in trouble. None of the stuff happens till Q3 next year, or Q4 next year. It just takes so damn long to get everything done, and then you're in trouble. Then you're in trouble. Okay, let's tell Gavin he's got to work harder. Come on, Gavin, work for our bags, man. Let's go. Okay. Phantom, by the way, going back to, they're doing a rebrand. They're going to become Sonic. So anyway, they've got a huge airdrop, 190 million token airdrop. That's a lot of cheddar. That's currently worth about 100 million US dollars, something like that. So that's a pretty damn big one. So what you want to do to get your hands on that, and by the way, I'm a Phantom investor, okay? Polkadot too, whatever. You guys can look at my portfolio disclosures down below in the description. So lots of incentives coming here for the ecosystem. So very cool to see those kind of big ecosystem incentive programs at the right time in the market. Can do pretty well. Q4 could be looking pretty gosh darn good for Sonic, aka Phantom. Here's a free test net. EMC, Edge Matrix Computing. I know. They got slaughtered from the time of the big AI pump earlier this year until recently. Holy crap. But big things are starting to happen over there, okay? They've got their testnet mining airdrop now live. If you want to participate in that, you can do that. Go find them over on X at EMC Protocol, and you can check out what they're doing. Get yourself some free coins by participating in their testnet. Again, it's free. It's a testnet, and you can get free coins for doing that. So if you have some time on your hands, you want to play around with that, you can check it out. Here's another one, by the way, Red Belly Network. So they've got a galaxy here quest going on, as you can see. So again, come over at Red Belly Network on X, find the official links for all this stuff. But their latest quest is live. They're doing a whole bunch of different quests. Airdrop coming. Okay, so watch out for it. So collateralize your properties on homes and borrow RBNT, all interest free, but only for a limited time. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool questnet testnet activity. Red Belly, by the way, is definitely one I think we're going to hear a lot more about. Again, I'm an investor, guys, but one you're definitely going to hear a lot more about when they come out with their main net and release their token, a lot of stuff, because these guys have like $80 billion or something of real world assets lined up to come on chain. They're immediately going to jump to being, if that all gets delivered, they're immediately going to go to being one of the biggest chains by total value locked almost overnight. So, and that's a free thing you can do. I know markets are boring. I know, not everyone's got a lot of cash on hand. Everyone's been all in all the time and things have been crazy. Well, go do some free stuff. Go do some free test nets, man. Go play on Phantom and whatever. Find some opportunities. Go here and do the Galaxy quests for Red Belly. There is stuff to do out there, guys. There is opportunity all the time in these gosh darn markets, okay? Okay, so final note, if you're not signed up to the newsletter, get signed up to the newsletter. As mentioned, we do airdrop alpha every single week, by the way. Huge amounts of it. Plus all kinds of other great stuff, meme coins, altcoins, DeFi tutorials, charts, analysis, the news. The news, I know, we cover the news too, guys. Pretty crazy. For a newsletter, if you want to get signed up to that, link down below. You can join 140,000 plus weekly readers for free. Check it out. Thank you very much. So Let's crack open some Vishy. Let me see here. This guy says, Lark has been investing in scams all year. That's why he was waking out last week about selling some stuff. The reason I had to sell some stuff is to not get liquidated on bigger loans. And look, sometimes some of the crypto coins I invest in work out better than others, man. We take risks sometimes. They don't always work out. Doesn't mean everything's a scam. I don't think it's the right attitude to have when you approach the crypto market, that everything's a scam. Definitely there's a lot of risk. Definitely there's a lot of speculation. Definitely there are plenty of scams. And most of the things that I have invested in, maybe they don't always turn out well, but the amount of rug pulls at least is pretty gosh darn small. Anyway, nobody gets it perfect in markets, man. If you do, then hey, good job. Lark, did you hear about the 620 billion SHIB being withdrawn from exchanges? I have not. I have no idea. Not watching SHIB or SHIB economics, tokenomics, withdrawals from exchange, anything like that, but maybe somebody knows something we don't. Lark, can you give an example of any coins that haven't pumped, that didn't pump the last bull run? Any advice for people that have held since the last bull? Look, there's so many examples of so many coins that have done basically nothing this market cycle. Let me just see if I can find one that I suspect might be on that list real quick. And it's pretty crazy that some of these things are even still so high up in the, gosh, not even top 100 anymore, is it? So some of these things are still so high up in the market cap, you know, like genuinely surprising sometimes. And look, if you're holding one of these old coins, here's a great example of a coin that's just not really doing all that much. And that is Tezos, right? You can see basically nothing happening to Tezos here. You can go max time frame on that. I mean, goodness gracious. It did do some stuff back in 2021. So, you know, fair play to that. But look at this cycle. Nothing's happening, man. Nothing's happening at all. It's just, no, I mean, who's talking about Tezos these days? Tell me who. Tell me what's going on over there. Nobody cares about Tezos. I'm not trying to throw any shade here. It's just the reality, right? Advice for people that have held since the last bull run. If you've got a coin that's sort of a dinosaur coin, no one's really talking about it. Nothing's really going on with it. There's not a lot of like big stuff happening. I mean, look, I can't tell you what to buy or sell. It's not what we're here to do. But there is something to be said for having, let's call it a spring clean of your portfolio. And yeah, if you bought much higher and you're at a 60, 70, 80% loss, it's going to suck. Now, maybe you can offset that loss when it comes to tax time. That's a positive thing. And you can free up your mind, free up your capital to put it back into something else, one of the narrative winners of the cycle, let's say. So yeah. I'm a hot dog, says dot burn mechanism is good. Should be out in a couple of days. Lark, is it too late to stake Aerodrome? If you're going for the 4-year lockup, I mean, I guess from a perspective that like you're gonna have to hold it through the entire next bear market because it's gonna be locked up anyway, and you'll get it in 2028. All right, cool. Look, I am farming Aerodrome with a liquidity position, USDC Aero. It's been pretty nice rewards from staking that position so far. So liquidity provision rewards have been good. But right now, the impermanent loss is pretty gnarly. So we have not made up for that yet with the rewards received. But we're actually getting pretty close to breaking even in terms of rewards received and impermanent loss. So then you start to say, okay, now we can start making profits on that position. So we're getting to an interesting place with that. And I'm still bullish on Aerodrome being like the DeFi hub, the DEX hub of Base. Lark, first time commenting, but why do people who love the city always have wet hair? Don't know. Good question. Don't know. I just wet my hair before the streams because it gets too frizzy. Let's just make it look a little bit better, but I don't like putting a lot of product in my hair all the time. Lark, if everyone's buying large amounts of Bitcoin, why doesn't this reflect in the price when a YT rumor can pop a meme coin? Well, one, a rumor pump on a meme coin that's got $1 million market cap or something, that's a very different situation compared to Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin has seen a level of institutional adoption this year that's absolutely off the charts, but we've also then been faced with unprecedented supply unlock this year, whether that be Germany, Silk Road, Mount Gox, what miners selling like crazy. It's been a rough year for supply unlocks, right? So huge amounts of demand came in to hit a wall of gargantuan supply. And so we've then been underperforming since that run up to 74K. We've been underperforming versus the S&P 500, for example. But as I shared the other day, well, the S&P 500 is up about, what was it, 17% or something year to date, which is crazy for the S&P 500, by the way. Huge rally this year. Bitcoin's up twice that much still, in spite of the recent pullback. So if you bought at 70K, you're feeling the pain. If you bought literally at any point in 2023 or before, you're doing okay. Okay. Lark, what free stuff can U.S. citizens do? I know, guys. I know it sucks that often you guys are excluded from airdrops. Gary's protecting you. Remember that. You're being protected. You're being protected by Gary. Do you feel protected? Now, I'm not going to say that in many cases you can use VPNs to get around these kind of things, but you know, that's something that some people, I know people who have done those things. Let's just say that. So there you go. Doesn't always work, but many times you'll be able to get airdrops through the back door, so to speak. Lark, do you know if Germany's the only country in which you don't have to pay any tax on crypto if you're holding it for longer than a year? Look, I'm not familiar with all the tax rules of all the places around the world. There's so many varying things. Some countries are horrific on taxing crypto. Other countries are pretty decent on it, you know, and sometimes you're just going to pay less gains tax for holding more than a year. And then there's a lot of places that have no capital gains tax. Singapore has no capital gains tax on crypto. Dubai has 0. The Bahamas has 0. I think, does Portugal still have 0%? Just going to put it out there. I feel like the weather's probably a lot nicer in Portugal compared to Germany. I like nice weather. Anyway, let's continue. But talk to your tax people about that. Yeah. What happened to your GRVT farming, Lark? Well, for GRVT, we're not really farming it. I've been sharing my affiliate link for that. Those guys have been doing pretty good stuff, and I think they're going to be definitely one of the exchanges you might hear get talked about quite a bit. And the airdrop is going to be crazy, right? It's super simple to get, too. You just go and basically, I think I shared the link on Twitter yesterday if you want to find a link for that. They've got a pretty tight invite setup, but I only get like 100 invites a week or something like that. But basically, you sign up, you do a few simple social tasks, and you like get randomized mystery boxes that are going to be worth an airdrop later. Plus, now if you KYC your account, you'll get mystery boxes. So again, more GRVT airdrop. Plus, they're giving everybody who KYCs their account like 80 ZK sync tokens or something like that. So cool. Anyway, I'm a fan. I think they're going to do pretty well, and I hope I'm getting a pretty good airdrop out of that. Okay. Any USDC staking tokens you like other than Joe? I mean, none pop to the top of my head. I know there's some great chances to earn pretty good returns on some of the decentralized exchanges, particularly the perps exchanges, but you are taking risks, right? You're basically providing liquidity into the marketplace, which you can end up on the wrong side of. Technically, it doesn't usually happen, but still worth considering. But generally, just by providing liquidity, you can earn really, really good returns if you put your money in like Camino or Drift or GMX or something like that. You can get pretty good rewards paid out in stable coins, or sometimes like with GMX, they pay the rewards out in Ethereum. So, but in terms of USDC, nothing's popping on the top of my head right now. I'm sure there's a few decent ones out there. Portugal will get scooped up by the ocean. You know, I remember reading about this sort of theory that the earthquake in Lisbon in like the 1700s basically ended the Portuguese Empire because it was so destructive. It's crazy. I hope Portugal's not get scooped up by the ocean. Looks like a beautiful place. I still want to go visit. Come on, ocean, chill out. Lark, when will we see a stream another crypto influencer, for lack of a better term, who might? I have no idea. Sometime, maybe. Dubai now has 10% corporate taxes. It does. It does. So personal income tax is still 0%. Tax on capital gains, 0%. So you can sell $1 billion worth of crypto and pay 0 taxes, right? $1 million, I'm going to say $1 million of the crypto, maybe $1 billion, but too much. $1 million of the crypto and pay 0 taxes, which is fantastic. So when I moved to Dubai, most of my income will actually now be tax-free, but like the newsletter business, the premium subscriptions, the courses we sell, stuff like that, that'll be taxed at 9%. I'm pretty sure it's not 10%. Maybe they put it up recently, but 9% is the last number I heard, which is fine. That is 75% less tax than I pay here in New Zealand. So, because at the end of the day, you know, if you ever want to put money in your pocket, the corporate tax rate's 28% in New Zealand, but you know, riddle me this. If you want to take money out of your business and put it into your own pocket, well, then you have to pay personal income tax on it, don't you? So then it goes to 39%. Yeah. So it's big savings. Big savings. I'm all about it. They can have their 9%. All good. Worth it. You know, I was thinking about this the other day as well. You know, like with Singapore, right? Singapore has no capital gains tax on crypto, and the income tax and corporate tax is half of what it is here in New Zealand. And I was thinking, man, Singapore's so nice everywhere. And they're able to do that with half as much taxes and no tax on your crypto. What? It's crazy. And I was thinking, gosh darn, like my net worth would be like probably 2.5 to 3 times what it is right now. And don't worry, we're doing okay. But it'd be 2.5, 3 times what it is right now had I been living in Singapore, because I would not have lost 40% of my everything to taxes. Taxes, man. Taxes. Anyway, taxes are what they are. Pay your taxes, everybody. Okay? Seriously. Don't get in trouble with tax, man. It's not worth it. Okay. Lark, Dubai requires a liquor license if you want to drink in your home. That's why we appreciate free countries. Well, you know, I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day. See, I grew up in Pennsylvania, and the county where I grew up had pretty restrictive alcohol laws. And Pennsylvania is pretty restrictive overall. Like you can't buy, maybe it's changed. I haven't lived there in a long time, right? Even gone there in a long time. But basically, you can't buy alcohol at the supermarket. You have to go to a separate liquor store, which sells liquor and wine, and then a separate store that sells beer. Now, in a particular county I lived in, you couldn't buy beer after, I think it was like 12 o'clock on a Wednesday for some kind of religious reasons. I can't remember what the exact purpose of that was. And you couldn't buy anything on a Sunday, except from a bar. You could get takeaways from a bar, so you had to take bar prices. I know the things you find out as a 15-year-old kid trying to get people to buy a beer all the time. Anyway, those are pretty restrictive laws. There's that freedom, right? Every country has some kind of restriction on alcohol, right? So Dubai requiring a liquor license, you know, basically a personal license, which is not like some crazy thing to get from what I've read. Just fill out a form and you get your thing. Fine. It's just their way of regulating it. Every country that sells alcohol regulates it in some way. I mean, what about this? Well, why can't people under the age of 18, or how about 21? If you're in America, it's 21. What a ridiculous pile of crap. You got to be 21 to drink alcohol. You can buy cigarettes at 18, which are definitely going to kill you. You can go fight in a war and die at 18, but you can't have a beer. You're mature enough to elect the president, but you're not mature enough to have a beer. Is that freedom for people under the age of 21? I don't think so. So look, there's always going to be, and look, I'm not trying to have rose-tinted glasses about living in Dubai. I know there's pros and cons of living there without a doubt, but there's always freedoms and then the perception of freedom. And most things have some kind of law, regulation, restriction on them, right? So it's all relative, man. It's all relative. Okay, where are we up to? We're getting off into the deep end here. Cigarettes are now 21. Good. They should be. Fair enough. They should be. Been a lot, cigarettes. Used to smoke a little, not crazy back in the day, but I used to smoke a little bit. Don't smoke, kids. Don't smoke. Okay. Where are we at? In Tulsa, they have 3-point beer, 3.0 alcohol beer. There you go. This guy says, just search. Even if you sell for 0% long-term capital gains in Germany as an EU citizen, you'd still need to live there 183 days a year to establish tax residency. Yeah, if you are looking for tax residency somewhere, you usually have to be there 6 months a year. Not everywhere is like that, but you usually have to be somewhere 6 months a year in order to get tax residency. It's a pretty deep topic. What county in PA? Mercer County, halfway between Erie and Pittsburgh. Ex-coal mining town, tiny, impoverished, running around with the Lost Boys, as they, most of my buddies growing up, we were all just, drinking beer and screwing around, and half of us, probably basically almost everybody from single mom households, we all had lots of time on our hands because our moms were working. For one reason or another, our dads weren't there. No shade on my dad. It's not that he didn't want to be there. It's a long story. Okay, we're not going to get into that. But yeah, it's typical rural Pennsylvania is how I would describe it. If you've been to rural Pennsylvania, you know exactly what the heck I'm talking about. Okay. I like New Zealand. And Dubai is going to be fun. I heard Dubai has poor drainage. Yeah, I think they need to build some more storm drains there from what I've seen recently. Drinking water in Saudi is more expensive than gas for your car. That sounds like a crazy claim. Lark, does your family have Kiwi accents? My son kind of does. He's starting to get that, but I guess we're going to move to Dubai, so he won't have that. When I moved to New Zealand, I was 16 with my mom. And so my theory has always been, see, a lot of Kiwis, like my buddy's wife, she's from Eastern Europe. She sounds super Kiwi now, right? Because she had to sort of develop that Kiwi accent. She didn't have a native English accent. When I came here, and I see this with British people, Canadians here in New Zealand too, who have been here for 20, 30 years, like me. They come and their accent just kind of stays the same forever. They still sound like they got off the boat from the UK or Canada or whatever last week, even though they've been here for decades, because we didn't need to adapt our accents to be understood. That's always been my kind of theory on it. Anyway. ICP, I'm only down 50. Hey, only down 56%. Let's go. Reminds me of that meme. I was looking at my my EMC bags. We talked about that a bit earlier. My EMC bags are down like unbelievably down. Anyway, I was looking at those, and they've kind of gone up a few percent. Up like 50% this week or something, or 100% in the last week. Is pretty crazy. Something must be going. Somebody knows something, I think. Anyway, up like 100% last week, and it's kind of that reminding me of that meme where you got the guy who's like, he sees, the big red line go down, this up like 1%. He's like, oh, we're so back. Feels like that sometimes. Better days are ahead for the markets, guys. Fingers crossed. Rent or own in Dubai. I'm going to rent. That's my plan short term. The initial plan, we're going to go to Dubai for 2 years. If we like it, maybe we'll stay longer. If we don't, maybe we'll consider whether we come back to New Zealand straight away or we want to go somewhere else. That's kind of the plan right now. Dubai was built on slave labor, says JKH. Yeah, you know, it's interesting, of course. It's a very tricky topic to get into, right? What constitutes slave labor, all this kind of stuff. And look, you would also be surprised. I know there's been a lot of heat on Middle Eastern countries, but you would be pretty surprised to learn if you look at actual global slavery statistics. It's a crazy topic to get into. We're totally off base here, guys, talking about crypto coins. Anyway, if you look at global slavery statistics, it's very interesting because some of the places that are the biggest destinations for and biggest users of slave labor are places you would not think. A lot of it is actually Western countries, whether we're talking about sex slavery, whether we're talking about domestic slaves, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, the total numbers, like in somewhere like India, might be bigger, right? But actually, you see huge numbers in Western countries, whether it be the United States, which has all these illegal migrants come in, and then people get trafficked into sex slavery and stuff like this, like as well as domestic slavery, labor slavery. You wouldn't believe. It's crazy stuff. Here's an interesting statistic for you. The modern slave trade, there are more people enslaved in the world right now, which just doesn't, I can't even believe it when you look at it. You think that can't be the case. It just can't be true, but it is true. And there's more people enslaved in the world right now than slaves existed during the entire transatlantic slave trade. And there's this mythology about America and slavery and, all this sort of stuff around that. But imagine that whole history of slavery for the 200 years, whatever was going on, all the people that were involved in that. The current modern world has more slaves as a total number than that entire history of slavery in that particular area. That's crazy, right? Anyway, we're getting down the deep end here, guys. I went to Dubai last year. The car scene's crazy. It is crazy. I was blown away. Like, here in New Zealand, you very rarely see like these supercars, right? Whereas in Dubai, it's like every 20th car was like a supercar. It's pretty crazy. Why did you move from New Zealand to Pennsylvania? 9/11. Basically, mom was like, all right, that's it. We're getting out of here. America's too crazy. PopCat up 40%. There we got some crypto stuff. Every country was, someone's ancestors had to do it. Yeah, the history of the world is pretty brutal, man. Thought Dubai was rated second safest city in the world, even for women. I feel like, again, go to Dubai. I've been to Dubai. I haven't lived there, right? I'll let you guys know as we're living there if I see any crazy going on. But from everything I've seen, the people I've talked to, there's no problem for, safety for women as well. So. I was going to move to New Zealand at 18 for farm work and explore the world. Never did. I'm like 40 now. Can't pick kiwis no more. Yeah, I was trying. I got a buddy back in Pennsylvania, PA, as they call it locally, who I've been trying to talk to come to New Zealand for like 25 years, man. Shout out Andrew, but man, never talked him into coming down. Even said, I'll pay for plane ticket, come down, he's cruise around, man, pick some fruit, have a good time. Just anyway. Lark Domestic has been craziness. Pull up the smoking chicken fish. Let's have a look. Gosh darn. Okay, we're having fun though. Let's see what smoking chicken fish is doing here, guys. Let me just have a look. SCF. Smoking chicken fish. Oh yeah. I think somebody was some of the bigger accounts have been tweeting about this on social media. Man, Smoking Chicken Fish, they've legit done pretty good at making some pretty funny memes. So, you know, respect where respect's due. I've got a bag. Anyone who pays rent is a slave. That's an interesting perspective. You know, there's so many layers to the Matrix, let's say, right? I remember I did a story for a short a few months ago, and it was about this guy, sort of a response to this guy who was talking about he's lived, I don't know, his whole life somewhere in America up in the mountains by one of the ski fields or something. It's a nice area, right? But now he's like 70 and he's got to work, like him and his wife both have to work like 2 jobs just to pay their property taxes because, well, they've lived there for a long time. All these rich people have moved in, driven the prices of property up so much. Now his property's worth so much more. So you either have to keep working your ass off to pay your property taxes, or they'll take your property from you, or you have to sell your property and move to somewhere less desirable. I mean, how is that not a form of slavery, right? You don't really own your property, right? The government owns it. You're just renting it from them. It's wild stuff. Anyway, there's lots of dimensions to all that stuff. JK says, you seem too down to earth to live in Dubai. I wish you the best, but I don't think you enjoy the culture there. I think when I went to Dubai, what surprised me was how much the stereotype of Dubai is not the sort of reality of Dubai. For me, I just saw it as being a place that's super family friendly, a place that is really great for, it's almost like a Russian speaking city, which is great for me and my kids and my wife, because when our kids speak Russian, my wife's from Russia, long story. But anyway, really great for that. Great quality of life, all kinds of cool stuff. So I definitely think that if you want to live that superficial, you know, okay, we got to get the cars, watches, all this stuff, which, you know, no shade on that life. That's the life you want to live, man. You live that life, right? But I also think there's a lot of really cool people there. From what I've seen, a lot of really cool people who are just, you know, in the entrepreneurial mindset and all that kind of stuff. So I'll let you know. I'll keep you guys up to date. Maybe we'll do a blog every 6 months about my life in Dubai. Lauren says, what's that coin you're staking receiving rewards in USDC? Is Trader Joe. Trader Joe, it's an decentralized exchange on Avalanche and on Arbitrum. I think they're on a couple other networks as well. Oh, Maryland guy put a long on an AVAX 3 days ago. Let's go, man. Let's go. Nice. Good. Lark, if you want to see the next meme coin to $1 billion, it's Billy not smoking chicken fish. We shall see. Man, the meme coin game's crazy. I got enough memes, I feel like. I don't know. I still might buy something. Never know. But I feel like I got enough memes, man. Holy crap. I think if I'm going to be adding any new coins, it's going to be fundamentally solid coins. I don't know. You say that, and then the reality is all the meme coins just pump like crazy. Now, some supermarkets in Pennsylvania have a separate aisle of booze. Okay, there you go. You go to separate register to cash out. There you go. Like I said, I have not been to Pennsylvania for a very long time. I think we went there for like a few minutes, like an hour or something, to go to a Walmart in Bradford, which is up by the New York border, with my dad when we were there a few months ago. But that was about it. I wasn't really paying attention to what the alcohol scene was like in the store. Even when you pay off your house, you never truly own it. Nope, the government's always got you in their pockets, don't they? We just got to get Lark a gold chain and a couple bottles in the club. He'll blend in just fine. Did you have to buy a property to a visa in Dubai? No. We're moving the company there, and the company allows us to sponsor ourselves for visas. So that's like a 2-year visa, which can be renewed every 2 years. We didn't want to put down for the golden visa, which is like the $600,000 investment in bonds or property, just because I thought, well, why do we need to do that if we're only going to go for 2 years? You know, if we don't like it, right, then we might come back. So there's no point in investing the $600K. Anyway, so that's kind of what we thought. But there is the option to get the golden visa, which is the 10-year, much more comprehensive visa. Lets you do all that kind of stuff. My wife, also from Russia, just got back from 6 weeks in Crimea. Crimea is a beautiful place. Beautiful place. I went there in 2014? No, 2013. 2013, I went to Crimea when it was still part of Ukraine back in the day. Beautiful, beautiful place. Incredible beaches, cool old Greek stuff, and other cool old stuff. It was pretty neat. Pretty neat. That was a long time ago, though. JT says, Lark, am I a fool for not going in on Solana? I'm a fool for not going in on Solana. $20 is like, nah, it's pumped like 100% last week. I'm not going to buy that crap. Lark, come on. What were you thinking? Anyway, look, at this point, Solana, very strong coin. I'm not sure it's going to dramatically outperform versus something like Avalanche, or Ethereum is probably going to relatively have returns in line with the other major coins. So maybe I'm wrong and it does outperform, and it outperforms dramatically versus Ethereum and flips Ethereum, and sure, why not? But my guess is we're probably going to see something like $1,000 price point by the end of the cycle for Solana, maybe $900, something like that. So getting in now is not as attractive as back then. Maybe I'm mid-curving it. Maybe I'm just mid-curving it. It's just going to be the only coin that makes money this cycle. But that's my kind of thought on it. Edgar, yes, I do speak Russian. I do speak Russian. Not as well as I'd like to, but I'd say I'm intermediate. Dubai is non-woke. That is also good. Did you get any Nairo? I never did. Maybe I will later. I don't know. Watch it and see what happens. You know, there's always the one thing you got to keep in mind. There's always another coin, another opportunity. I love Lebanese food. I love Middle Eastern food, actually. Turkish food's fantastic. Lebanese food's great. Big fan. Big fan. Lots of just like, you know, falafels and stuff. I love that stuff. Okay. Oh my gosh. Almost okay. We're going to have to finish up here, guys. I think it is about time. Eastern Europe is beautiful. If you've been to St. Petersburg, my wife's from St. Petersburg. I lived in St. Petersburg for a few years. Love it. Big fan. Big fan. I miss it. I miss it, man. Hope to spend more time there in the future. I know, guys. But it's a beautiful place. I love St. Petersburg. That's where my mother-in-law lives. So we're definitely going to be going visiting at some point in the future. And, you know, maybe it's a nice place to escape Dubai summers. Anyway, guys, we're going to finish up the last 20 minutes. We basically not talked about crypto at all, but I hope it's been fun anyway. Guys, thanks so much. Appreciate you joining me. And we'll be back on Monday with the next live stream. We got some sweet videos coming up for you guys over the weekend too. So I hope that you enjoy those. Peace out. See you next time. Bye.